Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. I hope you all have given your unit 2nd exam very well and you all are protecting yourself from COVID-19 as well as your near and dear ones also. So, before starting our next chapter, that is chapter number 12, reproduction in plant, I would like you to go through with this appropriate behavior and follow this strictly in your life, okay? Wear masks, follow physical distancing, maintain hand hygiene, and stay at least 6 feet from others. Wash your hands frequently, always with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. And remember to not touch your face. Do not share your food or drinks with others. Now we're going to start our chapter number 12, that is reproduction in plants. Okay? So the topics which we are gonna cover in this chapter are reproduction, asexual reproduction. We will discuss about budding, fission, fragmentation and regeneration. Sexual reproduction, where we will discuss about pollination, fertilization and seed dispersal. So what is reproduction? The word reproduction, what does it mean? Re means anything which is happening again. Like we give us like I'm giving you an example. Rewind, when you're trying to repeat something. Okay, so when you repeat something, you repeat. Reinstall, so we are installing something again. Reappear, when something appearing again. So reproduction means that production, that is production, the word come from the word produce. Produce means to make something. So it is a process by which a living organism produce new organism similar to that of the main cell. Okay, have you seen that all of us look very similar to our parents? Okay, some of us have more similarity to our dad, to our moms, and we will even look similar to our sibling also. So it is because the entire process where to producing children, that is new organism which is being produced by the existing organisms similar to themselves. Okay, so this process is known as reproduction. And the children are exactly identical to their parents, but a lot of other living organisms, the children are not exactly identical, but they do have similarity, okay, with their parents. Like we don't look exactly like our parent. We look similar, but not exactly. So we have a similarity. Hair color might be similar, or our eye color might be similar to our mother or father. So that means you might have some similarity, but we are not exactly identical. You take example of any living organism like an elephant. So the kid of an elephant will look similar to an elephant, and it will not look similar to a human being. Similarly, a human baby will have similarity to human beings and not to any other animal. So you think of any animal. So you see, in each of animal, their children look similar to themselves. Like giraffe would look like a giraffe. A fish would look like a fish. Elephant would look like an elephant. So each and every organism reproduce to a new organism, and these new organisms are similar to them. So that is all about reproduction. Now you might think that why reproduction necessary? Why we need to reproduce new organisms? So now this is very important. You know why? First of all, to retain a particular species of living organism. Now what do you mean by that? Let's think of a simple example. Let's consider an example of a human being. We all are surviving yet. Yes. Do you think that any one of us is going to survive throughout? Are we going to survive in indefinite period of time? Not really. We will survive for a certain period of time. So all human being, not only human being, all living beings, they take birth, they live their life, they grow, like they like infant, they grow to become child, then they become adult, then they become old person, and finally what happened? Finally the person die. Okay, so basically when new organisms are born, we feel that a lot of organisms are there, but gradually these organisms are going to die one day. Correct? Now, if there is no reproduction, no new organism are being formed, what will happen? After a period of time, after a certain period of time, that entire group of living organism would become extinct. So, if you take the example of a human being, if all human beings are on this earth are stop reproducing, what will happen? No new human being will be formed. So what happened? A number of human beings become decreasing. Okay. One day all of them will die. Okay. So after that day, what happened? Not a single human being left on the earth. That means the entire species of human being will be lost. So reproduction is very important to retain a particular species of living organism. So this example holds not only for a human being but for all living organism. Okay. So why it is necessary? Because to retain a particular species of living organism. Now the second thing is transmission of character from one generation to the next. Now, not only living organism, when I say living organism, it is not only the animals which I am talking about, it is also the plants. Even plants reproduce. Because you see, the same concept hold for the plants also. If they will not reproduce, a particular type of plant will become extinct after a couple of years. Because the plant also have a specific year of longevity. They are not going to live for an indefinite period of time. So after some time they also die. So it is also important for all living organism to reproduce, for plants also, but the way they reproduce might be very different from one another. So the way the plant will reproduce, not only plant, not only human being, not only animal, also the plants also reproduce. So in this lesson we spend considerable amount of time to look the ways by which the living organism can reproduce. Okay, to learn the different ways. So the first thing we've been discussed are the types of reproduction. Now broadly there are two types of reproduction. First is asexual and then sexual. So these are the two broad classification of reproduction. Now whether it is plant or animal, like plants can reproduce asexually, plant can also reproduce sexually. It depends. Some plant reproduce sexually, some plant reproduce asexually. Similarly in animal also, some animal reproduce asexually, some animals reproduce only sexually. So we will look at what is asexual and sexual reproduction. Now first of all, let's just talk about asexual reproduction. So in this type of reproduction, only a single parent is needed. Now this is very important. So you just need one parent. Let's try to compare it with the type of reproduction which happens in human being. Now in human beings, for a child to be born, one parent is not sufficient. You need a father as well as a mother. For both of them are needed, only then a child is born. Correct? So that means this is not an example of asexual reproduction. So this is a sexual reproduction. But in asexual reproduction, you just need one organism. There is no concept of mother and father. It is just one organism, one parent which can give rise to a new organism. So in this case, no sexual intercourse is involved. That means that there is no communication between a male and a female. There is no concept of male and female in asexual reproduction, because every organism is capable of reproducing. Whereas in other hand, there are two parents which are involved. You need a mother and a father. You need a male and a female, and the fusion between male and female gamete give rise to a new organism. And what are gametes? Gametes are the specialized cells, or you can say the sex cells, which fuse together, combine together to form a new organism, to form a one cell which then again multiplies and becomes bigger, and then how it form a new child. So in this case, you need male and female. You need two different sex cells, but in the case of asexual reproduction, one organism is enough. Also, a new organism which are formed in asexual, they are exactly identical to their parents in this case. Okay, but in the case of sexual reproduction, the new organism has similarity to their parents, but they are not exactly identical. For example, we might resemble our father to some extent. We also have a traits which are new, okay, and which are neither present in our mother and our father also. So in case of sexual reproduction, it is not necessary that the new organism will be like exactly identical to their parents. But when you talk about the asexual reproduction, you really do not see the variation. You do not see the new traits coming up in the offspring or in the new organism. So this type of or a mode of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction, is more common in plants, especially in the lower plant, the smaller plants, and the small animals. Mostly like unicellular organisms, simple animals. For example, bacteria, amoeba, hydra, tapeworm. So these are some of the animals which where the asexual is very common. Okay. And what are unicellular? Those which are made up of only one cell. Okay. So in that, asexual reproduction is more common. Whereas in this, as I said, two distinct sex cells needed. And here, the multiplication rate is quite slow. That means here the number of offspring or the number of new organisms which are produced is comparatively lesser than in the case of asexual reproduction. So if you take an example, let's say in case of a bacteria reproduces asexually, it produces hundreds of new bacteria, but when human being reproduce, it gives birth to one child, okay, or sometime in some case it gives twins. So the number of organism or the multiplication rate in case of sexual reproduction is quite low when compared to asexual reproduction. But the sexual reproduction is seen in higher animals, including human beings and other mammals. Sexual reproduction is also seen in higher plants. All the flowering plants, they reproduce sexually. So here sex is involved. That means the sexual intercourse, the fusion between the male and the female give rise to a new organism. So now we are going to discuss about these in detail. Okay, so first we talk about asexual and what are the different types of asexual reproduction. So as I have mentioned before, that in this type of reproduction, new individuals are formed from the single parents. So here new individuals are exactly identical to their parents. It is not similar. It is exactly the same as that of their parents. It is the faster mode of reproduction. Example I told you, unicellular organism. Okay. Example, hydra, amoeba, okay, etc. You might not familiar with these names, but these are the very tiny organisms which cannot be seen with the naked eyes. Okay. Okay, some of them live in the ocean, in the damp places. So maybe you would have not seen them, but all these are also exist. Okay. I'm sure even if you have not seen, but bacteria, like it is also in microscopic, but you would have heard about it. They are able to cause many diseases. Okay, so bacteria is again reproduce asexually, and it multiply very fast. Its number increases very fast. It's also seen in a number of plants, for example rose, potatoes, and these are some of the plants where asexual reproduction takes place. So now let us define various type of asexual reproduction, the various ways by which asexual reproduction can happen. So some of the common types are fission, budding, regeneration, spore formation, fragmentation, vegetative propagation. Okay. So now we will talk about fission. Fission means to split into two halves, two multiple halves. That is called fission. So when an organism splits into two or more new individuals, they are called fission. That means there is no process involved. Like in your higher classes, when you will learn about reproduction in human being, you will see a lot of complexity is involved in the process to take place. But here it is pretty simple. The organism itself will break into two halves or many halves, and each of those halves will be a new organism. So that kind is known as fission. Now it sounds weird, like we have never seen in human beings splits into two half and then two new organism form. So it is sounding weird to us. But in this type of fission, it happens in a lot of unicellular organism, and one very common example is amoeba. Amoeba is a very common example where fission take place. Now again, fission can also be of two types, that is binary fission and multiple fission. So the term binary means two, multiple means many. I think I do not need to explain because I have told you in your previous syllabus already. So this is an organism, it splits into two halves. So that means it is binary. And if it splits into many halves, then it is called multiple fission. So let us look at an example of binary fission. In this case, two new individual form. Okay, it split into two equal halves, and each of them will going to be a new organism. So let's take an example. It happens mostly in the unicellular organism like amoeba, perimecium, euglena, bacteria. So all these organisms have binary fission happen in all these organisms. So this is how like an amoeba look like. Amoeba is generally, it doesn't have a specific shape. It is like a very random in shape, and then you see that this nucleus, and you know that what is nucleus. So we are multicellular organism. So our body is made up of many cells, and inside every cell there is a head of the cell, the control center of the cell. So that is the nucleus. So this is the nucleus which I am making. So here in case of amoeba, that is, it is made up of one cell. So this is just a one cell, and they have nucleus. So nucleus is very important because it controls the activity of the cell. So that is why it is called a control center of the cell. Now during the binary fission, this nucleus, it is kind of elongate, and then divides into two half. It was one here, and in just step it got expanded. In the third step it is almost far apart, and then it got divided into two. So initially there is just one nucleus, and here you see there are two nuclei. Here the two parts are still joined together, and finally they get separated. So you get 1 and 2. So the two organisms are formed from the one organism. So in this case, what did we see? That this parent organism, the parent amoeba, it got split into two halves, and that gave rise to two new organisms. But in this case, the parent does not exist anymore. So the parent only got divided into two daughter organisms. So the parent will not exist after the reproduction is done. And also, this type of splitting, in some organism, the splitting happens along a specific plane. That is, there will be a specific plane where it will get splitted. So one such example is an organism called an Leishmania. You will study about this in your higher classes, so I am not going to discuss about that. Here the splitting happen at any plane, and the entire process of fission starts with the expansion of nucleus. Now in multiple fission, as I mentioned here, one organism will split into to form a many new organism. Like in case of binary fission, two new organisms are formed. Here many new organisms are formed. Okay. Here the nucleus continuously divided over and over again. Okay. Now in earlier case we saw that nucleus divided into two nuclei. Here the nucleus keep on dividing. So multiple nuclei will be formed. So when multiple nuclei will be formed, multiple new individual also form. And this states under unfavorable condition. Like this is very important. So you see both of them are fission, binary and multiple fission. But binary fission can done in a favorable condition, and multiple fission can take place in unfavorable condition also. What do you mean by unfavorable? When the environmental conditions are not favorable for the survival of the organism, then what happens? It covers itself with a cyst, a kind of coverage to protect from unfavorable condition. And when this cyst formation take place, then only this multiple fission happens. So this happen in a lot of organisms like amoeba, plasmodium, many algae. So in multiple fission, you started from one organism, now you got many organisms. So this is the process of multiple fission. Now this multiple fission, it is very common in Plasmodium. So Plasmodium is the malarial parasite. So this is that organism which is responsible for malaria, in human beings. So these are the two types of fission. So dear students, I think this is enough for today. Now, we will discuss the next method of reproduction, that is budding, in the next video. Okay. Thank you, students.